There is absolutely no way Wargaming will introduce this vehicle into the current matchmaking for tier 10. Otherwise, it will break the high tier matchmaking. There will be no more tier 8s, no more tier 9s, and tier 10s, other than artillery. So you'll see a bunch of Object 279s and artillery, and that's basically it. Yeah, this thing is OP! It has 310 millimeters of frontal hull armor and 305 for the turret. It's rounded, it's sloped into a UFO shape. There is no underneath hull for the vehicle. You cannot penetrate this vehicle from the sides. It's 214 into a very steep V shape. It's a dish. Russian UFO. You cannot penetrate this vehicle with any of the gold shell other than high explosive squash head and high explosive from the Type 5. And basically it's like the E3 in terms of armor, but all the way around, sloped into a S-tank shape. Yeah, you cannot kill this thing. High explosive will do minimal damage because the thickness of the armor as well. Jesus. I mean, there is a cupola, but that's likely 300 millimeters. It also has a periscope in front of it for the gunner, and therefore it acts as space armor, protecting the 300 millimeter rounded cupola. The only weak spot is the engine deck and the rear armor. The rear for the hull is 90, and for the turret is 100. So you can penetrate the rear, but this thing has the same mobility as a Russian medium at tier 10. Has 3000 DPM, so basically a Russian medium. 1.4 seconds of aim time, super good accuracy, high penetration, high base penetration for the 130 at 300 millimeters AP shell. That is ridiculous. And the gold shell is like 390, so close to the Jagdpanzer E100. It cannot kill itself. It cannot kill itself. But yeah, they're not going to introduce this vehicle at tier 10. No way in shape. It couldn't even be like tier 12. It's too good. Tier 10s will struggle against this vehicle. It's the same concept as fighting a mouse in a Pershing, basically. I mean, if the mouse had like steroids, nitro boost, and superchargers, yeah, it's no way. So yeah, welcome back, folks. Today we'll quickly take a look at the stats, but it's not about the stats. It's mostly about the model. So the model does exist. I have scrounged the Russian interwebs for this vehicle model and I applied it to the IS-4. It looks pretty good. I mean, it's not as big as the mouse. I thought it would be a big vehicle. It is kind of big. It is like about the IS-7 size, but it's not that big of a tank. So it's about the same size as the IS-7. Slightly smaller in length, but it's just about rounded. Just about rounded. It's about the same size as a STI-ish, about the same as a STI-ish, but better sloped frontal hull armor, obviously. So it's not the same size as a mouse, no way. So here is the mouse. Yeah, the mouse is huge. So yeah, I have the vehicle model. Here are the actual stats from the Russian server. So here is the JPEG. As you can see, bunch of DPM, high penetration, good accuracy, fast aim time, good dispersion, crazy mobility. I mean, holy crap, Jesus. So obviously, you will not see this vehicle. You will not see this vehicle in the matchmaking. Otherwise, it breaks the meta. It breaks all the matchmaking meta. Period. You will not see this. You will not see any other vehicle than this vehicle. Period. So let's play with the vehicle model. But it looks pretty good. So surprisingly, Wargaming has the vehicle made. It has all the textural files, all the models and mesh and textures, all the stuff ready, but you cannot introduce this vehicle. It basically breaks the game, period. So what's been good with you guys? How have you guys been? Well, this week we saw the release of this vehicle, leaked info of this vehicle on Sunday. Last week we had the Excalibur, which is the Ford Transit, as well as the Chimera. The Chimera got nerfed super hard. Originally, the only weakness about the Chimera was the shell velocity. It had like 720, which is pretty bad. 720 meters per second. That is like the original Object 268, like derpy shell. But it had a lot of DPM, 2200, base penetration was alright, 200mm, 202-ish, but meh, yeah. It was fast, 18 horsepower per ton ratio and decent mobility, but it had a lot of DPM and accuracy wasn't that bad. Aim time was also not that bad. So, nah, it got nerfed, obviously. It had gun depression too, and 200mm of turret armor. It was flat, but it's like the Ferdinand. Sometimes you can bounce a few, and if you're gun depressed, you can bounce a lot. And we saw the leakage of the Object 726, which is the ancestor, or like a pseudo brother to this vehicle. It's basically a 907 on steroids, practically a heavy tank, and I'm guessing that thing is the version number 2 of Personal Mission's final reward, which is pretty good. I mean, it has somewhat of a side armor and somewhat of a lower plate with the cupola weak spot, but yeah, it's still 4 tracks rolling at the same time. That is crazy. It looks pretty good too. I mean, the 4 tracks, ooh, that looks fine. Yeah, that looks great. I wonder how the track system works. Like, if you break the leftmost track, does it detract just 1 out of the 4 or like 2 out of the 4? I don't even know. So I'll wait for the other heavy tanks to have more armor and a better gun. I'm playing the IS-4. This is not the Object 279. Otherwise, I'll just YOLO because you cannot penetrate this thing, period. Alright, Type 5, you have thicker armor. You're thick. But yeah, recently there were not that many news. Today we got the release or the official developers info on the Polish heavies. Damn, I missed. Oh, smart target and a Russian gun. Yeah, alright. But yeah, the Polish heavies looks like Russian, mostly. I mean, it's like the KV-13 at tier 7, that's what they said, and the rest looks like low, flat hull shape with a bunch of Russian-esque of a large turret. So it's like STI on a Object 777. It's a large-ass gun with gun depression, and yeah, that is nuts. I mean, it has high alpha, 700 alpha, and this IS-7 is getting blown up. So we're staying back here. Yeah, we're staying back here. And yeah, I mean, am I interested in all these Polish tanks? Well, you have to think about it in terms of content-wise. So that's a lot of content when you think about it. We just got the release of the Italians with their auto reloaders, and now we're getting the Polish coming soon, likely end of the summer, I'm guessing. So we're going to see the release of the Schlogs, whatever you call that thing, Project 51 soon. So yeah, crazy stuff. And yeah, I have a shot. S4. Oh yeah, shooting itself is crazy, but you have to guess. So shooting normal S4 is, I'm gonna get freaking flooded. I'm getting flooded. Oh, this IS4 is struggling for some. So I need the help of a few heavies and mediums, or mostly mediums now. So yeah, the only problem with skin mod is shooting yourself or shooting other tanks of the same tanks. Okay. Centurion. Yeah, there we go. I mean, I'm playing the IS-4. I know the layout of the IS-4, but still. I just need them to be baited across this hill for the projectile and the grill 15 behind me. So play to your strengths. Obviously, there's a lot of dudes and have to play towards the 121B. Wow, rarely see a 121B. That's good. But the Polish tanks looks decent. I mean, you have to think about this as in terms of the amount of content. We saw the release of 1.0, and yeah, for this year, there's a oh my god. And for this year, we saw the release of 1.0 as well as a bunch of gold shells. Well, as a bunch of the Italians, as well as the Grand Battle Mode. Well, not Grand. But, yeah, the release of the front lines. Oh, gold shell, please! Scums! I don't like your gold shell, and I'm not penetrating all the way. But yeah, we just, I mean, I like front lines. Oh, high explosive AT. But yeah, front lines was pretty fun, and yeah, I loved it. It's a dramatic credit maker. You saw I have like 28 million credits sitting there waiting for any sales. There are totally flipped over. But yeah, that was nuts. The amount of credits you get per match was like 400,000, like for every 20 minutes. If you have a premium account as well as premium tanks and boosters, it was nuts. It was nuts. Did I get spotted? I think I did. Ay, ay, ay. So, alright. So IS-4, yeah, I mean, then again, IS-4 was originally like what? A tier 9, I think? It got shifted. I don't know, it's a long time, way before I started playing. But alright, we have a few teammates. I just need to kill the E4. Spamming gold shell into my side armor. He's dead. Do you know who are you stealing from? You and your friends are dead. I have reinforcements. Reinforcement have arrived. Jesus. Yeah, there you go. Just play a little bit cowardly. But yeah, rarely see a 121B. That's good. So yeah, recently the model looks pretty sweet. Yeah, 4-track vehicle. It's not the same. Well, think about it. The skins obviously does not show all the D-track and other stuff, so I cannot see. But oh, browser, what the frick is this thing? Sponsor 3 offer of the week. Also, there were a bunch of stupid premium shop offers, like getting a premium tier 2, like the L60 for like what, 20 bucks? That is dumb. That is horseshit. Dumb. Yeah, IS-4, you're alright. So there you go, folks. The Object 279 vehicle model. If I'm playing that vehicle, I would just charge into all the IS-4s, all the IS-7s and the Centurions, and don't give a fudge, because you cannot penetrate this vehicle other than the rear. It's super idiot proof, and I'm thinking the same for the Object 726 as well. It's not that idiot proof because the side armor is not that ridiculous and the frontal hull is not as thick, but still, I mean, it looks like this. It has 4 tracks as well. So I'm guessing if you're detracking this vehicle, you'll probably knock out like these two in a pair, as well as these two in a pair. Not like 1, 1, 1, 1. That would be ridiculous. It would take you forever to repair the tracks, and you only have like 1 repair kit. But I don't know. Still, yeah, you'll not see this. If the Chinese server is selling this thing along with the Waffenträger off E100, it will actually break all the matchmaking. I assure you, this thing is broken. I mean, it's not even. It's beyond broken. It's not even a tier 12. It's not even a tier 13. The only way to kill this thing is a direct hit with a tactical nuke, or something like depleted uranium, current ammunition with the shells, like fin stabilized discarding sabo, like high penetration sabo rounds with depleted uranium, or high penetration gold shell, high penetration high explosive anti-tank. But yeah, unless you're using something like thermobaric missiles or like high explosives, like a bunch of high explosives on this thing, I'm doubting you're killing it. The most you could do is basically knocking off the tracks, and that's basically it. It'll be a sitting bunker, but then again, you cannot penetrate it. So I mean, the Type 5 is a meme. You can fire gold shell at the Type 5 and you'll penetrate. Sure, I mean, the armor is good, 270, and somewhat sloped, but gold shell will penetrate this thing, like gold shell from a Yak Panzer E100. No problem. 420, blaze it up. Yep, 420 blaze it up, high explosive anti-tank, melts right through the Type 5. But for vehicles like the Super Conqueror and the original E5, it all has rounded armor or some sort of applicate armor, and therefore your gold shell does nothing. Your high explosive anti-tank, your APCR shell just bounces right off. Lack of normalization for the shell for APCR, and high explosive anti-tank gets dramatically reduction in penetration power with space armor. So if you're going to introduce composite armor or some sort of reactive armor, then yeah, it might be on the same par as this vehicle, but imagine how the crew will feel sitting in this vehicle. I mean, it's like a UFO. Super cramped, but then again, all Russian vehicles are cramped, so whatever. So yeah, you'll not see this vehicle. It looks pretty good. It is in the game files. You have the model. If you wish to download the vehicle files, I'll give you guys the download models and you can play with it. But yeah, that is nuts. I mean, it looks good. It breaks the game. So we're waiting for the Object 726, and that thing will likely destroy. I mean, that thing will be OP for the personal missions, and I can't wait. I mean, I love the fact that you could work your way to get the Object 260. Originally, this thing was OP. Originally, you thought, yeah, it's basically IS-7, but it has about 20 horsepower per ton ratio, and that was insane, coupled with pretty good accuracy, pretty good aim time for a Russian gun back then. And DPM is not that bad. I thought this thing would be OP because of the mobility. Turns out, you need super armor now. So super armor comes in forms of this thing. So we'll see how the 726 will work out. But there you go, folks. Just a play around with the model. Me getting gold shelled by E4s as usual. Not that many people play right now because of the lack of front lines. So frontline was pretty profitable, and as you see, 28 million credits sitting waiting for 4th of July sale, which is coming up in about a month. So yeah, very profitable, and you get a bunch of other stuff like the badge thing, which is small stuff. But thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. There you go, folks. The Object 726. I wish. The Object 279. It's pretty good looking. It will break the game. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace.